Okay, so when you think of a lion, what's the first image that pops into your head? It's probably that classic king of the jungle idea, right? Majestic, powerful, always on the prowl. But what if I told you that the image we all have is just a tiny piece of the real story? It's time to go beyond the roar.
Take a look at this guy, mouth wide open and a huge yawn, looking, well, anything but ferocious. Now, it's really easy to just look at that and think, wow, that's one lazy cat. But what you're seeing is actually a critical piece of the puzzle. It's a survival strategy.
Get this, lions spend up to 20 hours a day just sleeping and resting. 20 hours. That makes them by far the laziest of all the big cats. But this isn't a weakness, not at all. It's actually genius. It's an incredibly clever way to save up massive amounts of energy for the moments that truly matter, like hunting and defending their territory. And it's in those few waking hours that we find what really sets them apart.
Because, unlike pretty much every other cat species on the entire planet, lions are deeply social animals. Their whole world, their entire existence revolves around a complex family unit called a pride. A pride isn't just some random group of lions hanging out. No, it's a highly structured society. Think of it like a big, multi-generational family where absolutely everyone has a specific role to play. And the way they divide up the labor is just fascinating.
So you've got the males, they're the guardians, the protectors. Their main job is to defend the pride's territory, and they do it with those intimidating roars and by scent marking their boundaries. Then you have the females, the lionesses. They're the providers. They are the primary hunters, and they often work together in these incredibly sophisticated teams to take down prey that's way bigger than they are.
In that team of hunters, they're all family. Every single lioness in a pride is related. We're talking sisters, mothers, aunts, and daughters, and they stick together for life. The young males, though, that's a different story. Eventually, they have to leave the group and go out to find or win a pride of their own. This super tight-knit social fabric has been the key to their success for millennia. But now, that very success is under threat from a dramatic change in their world.
To really understand the crisis lions are facing today, we need to zoom way out and look at their historical kingdom. And I think you might be surprised to see just how far it once stretched.
Back in ancient times, the lion's roar could be heard across 3 different continents. The historian Herodotus reported that they were common in Greece around 480 BC. Their range went all the way from there to India and, of course, across Africa. They were a truly global apex predator.
And this is their world today. The contrast is just staggering, isn't it? Their huge kingdom has been reduced to these scattered, isolated pockets, almost entirely in sub-Saharan Africa. So you have to ask, what happened?
Well, in Europe, it was a slow burn over hundreds of years. By 300 BC, Aristotle was already writing that they were becoming rare. A few centuries after that, they vanished from Greece completely. And by the 10th century, the very last lion in Europe was gone. This historical decline really just set the stage for a much more rapid modern crisis.
You see, what happened over thousands of years in Europe and Asia has been compressed into just a few decades in Africa. And the numbers you're about to see, they're nothing short of shocking. Let's start in 1950. That's not that long ago, within a human lifetime. Back then, there were an estimated 400,000 lions roaming Africa, a healthy, robust population. Now, jump forward to the 1990s. That number had plummeted by 75%, down to around 100,000. Just think about that, an alarming drop in only 40 years. And today, the low-end estimate is just 16,500, from 400,000 down to as low as 16,500. Even if other estimates are a little higher, the trajectory is terrifyingly clear.
And this isn't ancient history. The data shows a drop of up to 50% in just the last 2 decades. This collapse is happening right now, and it's happening incredibly fast. The big question is, why?
Well, there are a bunch of interconnected causes. Lions are losing their habitat to human development. That, in turn, leads to more conflict with people, especially over livestock. And as their populations get smaller and more fragmented, they become geographically isolated. That makes them really vulnerable to disease and a dangerous lack of genetic diversity because of inbreeding.
If you look at that list, you'll probably notice there's a common thread running through almost every single one of those causes. And that brings us to the most difficult part of this story, the human factor.
This statement is blunt, but it's true. In the natural world, a healthy adult lion has no predators. The single greatest threat to their existence is us. Which leads to the most important question of all.
Can we, the ones who caused this decline, also be the source of the solution? I mean, can we actually find a way to share the planet with these magnificent animals?
The good news is there are pathways forward. It all starts with understanding our impact. It involves learning from indigenous communities, like the Maasai people, who are pioneering programs that foster a culture of coexistence rather than conflict. And it requires all of us to support the conservation work that protects habitats and empowers the local communities living right alongside lions.
So, we end with this question. The lion has endured ice ages, changing climates, and countless other challenges over millennia. They are the ultimate survivors. But the one question that will define their entire future is a pretty simple one. Can they survive us?